Good evening. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I knew you were gonna do that.
You knew I had to do that, right?
Yes.
Well, here's our second video for Halloween. We wanted to do 2 videos. I don't know, just because. Oh, so the first one we did was Trick or Treat.
Jack.
Great. Why does the dog?
He thinks
always,
we're talking to somebody
start
else.
barking as soon as we start talking. He thinks we're barking. Thinks we're barking at
We're
somebody
barking
else.
at somebody.
So he starts
so
talking.
He needs to bark.
But this one is going to be for what I'd say probably one of our favorite movies for both of us, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Good old BEETLEJUICE. BEETLEJUICE.
Call BEETLEJUICE.
Yeah. So, which is definitely a classic, one of Tim Burton's best, and it for sure has that Tim Burton spin to it.
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, Nightmare Before
he's
Christmas,
really stuck to
Edward
his guns
all that stuff. He just,
on his like kind of creepy but whimsical movies.
Yeah, such a good movie.
Yeah.
See, it was 1988 when that came out. Which,
Yep.
that's crazy. So, 30 years ago.
Yes.
Wow, so we're coming 30-year anniversary here for Beetlejuice, people. Do you feel old? You should.
We do.
I mean, look at me. Look how old I look. I've been sleeping for 1,000 years.
1,000 years.
1,000 years. That's a good vampire voice. I've been sleeping for 1,000 years.
And you pointed your eyes.
Raw.
Berg.
I want to drink your blood. But first, let me get a nap. That'd be old Dracula.
Old Dracula.
So, anyways, what do you know about this? We didn't do much research on it, just kind of going off of memory.
Yeah, which is funny because it was made in 1988, and we're like, let's try to remember watching this movie.
Well, it was one of my favorite Michael Keaton movies. I mean, I think
Yes.
it's hard to imagine anyone else doing that role. He just nailed it. He did it so well.
He did. And there were other people obviously up for that role, and I'm glad they chose him because he was perfect.
Norm Macdonald was watching one of his shows, and he was saying that Sam Kinison, back when he was alive, told him that the character was written for him.
What?
Because that's why he's wearing a duster, like how Sam Kinison always wore that trench coat, that duster. Yeah, and then he asked Michael Keaton about it on his show, and he says, I'd never heard that. He said, I'm pretty sure they didn't have anyone in mind when they wrote it. You know what I mean?
It was more like, this is a character that we like, and we'll find the right
actor. But he says, it could be true, but he says, as far as I know, I've never heard that. So I think it might have just been a rumor, but who knows,
Well, if it was a rumor, the guy basically said it was made for him. Maybe it was based off of the way he looked.
Maybe, because I could see him playing that role. I could, but I don't know. It's hard to imagine anyone else doing better than Michael Keaton.
No,
he did such
but then
a good job.
we grew up with Michael Keaton, and we know his
Batman
acting
and
skills.
all the different stuff he's done. Yeah.
Oh man,
Mr. Mom.
Oh gosh. So obviously we know the director was Tim Burton, and he's like one of my favorite directors of all time.
Night Before Christmas is like one of your favorite.
It is my favorite
animated movie.
Yeah, claymation, I guess you should call it. But the Alec Baldwin, of course, we know he's been in everything, or one of his brothers. Gina Davis, yes. So she hasn't been in anything recently. She was more of an 80s star, kind of 90s.
Louise was probably her biggest one, I think.
Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, she's been in a lot of movies.
She's one of those ones that were like, Gina Davis,
we like her. She's good. And then of course Winona Ryder, one of my favorite actresses,
who's finally made her comeback with Stranger Things.
One of my favorites.
She's awesome in Stranger Things.
So good.
If you haven't watched Stranger Things yet, it seems like it's more geared for kids if you watch the previews because it's surrounded around kids. But it's if you're an adult and you're into that type of creepy stuff, whatever, it's really good. I think.
And if you grew up in the 80s, it makes you feel like
it totally does.
Oh, memories. Even though it's creepy and it's based basically
it's like
on,
the episode where they're
monsters.
Dressed as the Ghostbusters. You're like,
yes, that's hilarious.
That's how it was when we were kids.
And then there's Catherine O'Hare, who was the mom, the redheaded mom.
She's one of those ladies too. Wasn't she the mom in
Home Alone?
Home Alone, right? Yeah. She's been in so many things. Where, yeah, exactly. That famous scene.
Yes.
And
Jeffrey Jones was the dad.
The dad, who sucks because he I don't know if you know about him. He got busted with child porn and stuff like that. Yes.
Ooh.
Now I didn't. That was a long time ago when that came out, and I don't know if it was like he found out it wasn't true or whatever. But from what I remember, it was real, and he never went into acting.
Well,
and it really sucks because not only does he do good in this movie, but one of his best movies and one of my favorite movies of all time, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he plays the principal, Rooney.
Yes,
Edward Rooney.
He plays like characters like that, kind of like dads and principals.
And I got such memories with that movie. I don't want to do the whole review about that movie right now, but we will eventually do one.
For sure.
The memories of my dad watching that and just his slow decline through the movie as he just slowly gets, worse and worse, trying to catch his darn kid cheating from cutting from school. I mean, he just does excellent. So it really sucks that it sucks when you hear things about actors and directors and stuff, all this creepy, horrible stuff.
And then you realize their real life is like.
And then whenever you watch it, like that's in the back, it's hard to just enjoy it again, like how it was. It's almost like you don't want to know about this stuff, you know. But obviously, it's better to know about it so they get caught. But still, sucks. But so I'm sorry. So where else were we?
Well, that was it. You know, like we said, Michael Keaton was the main actor, and how we were just watching how he really didn't. He wasn't in the
until
movie,
like after 20 or 25 minutes he shows up.
Yeah,
so the first,
and he was
like
in
third of the
he was
movie,
a very small part.
Yeah, and he's in. They said he was in there less than like 18 minutes of total screen time.
Yeah,
filmed it within like 2 weeks. He filmed his whole all of his scenes.
Yeah.
So. And he really wasn't even supposed to be in it even that much, but I guess they were saying with test audiences and everything
people
like that.
We love Beetlejuice. We want him in more.
And it's true. It's just his little funniness, the way he is in that movie. It's really funny, and of course, a lot of it's well written. The lines are funny too, but he delivers them really well.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was perfectly cast for that. It didn't feel out of place. Everyone played their roles really well.
I love Winona Ryder in it. I think she played a perfect goth.
Yeah. She was good at playing that kind of character.
That was kind of her thing, you know. I mean, she was Heathers. I think was one of her first, and she just really like. Pushed it into that deep, like dark kind of character. Yeah, I think they kind of cast her in a lot of that when she was younger.
She's one of the actresses I remember when I was younger, like being like real popular, but like had the white skin and the real black hair and all that kind of stuff.
I tried to
well, I mean, a lot of girls did.
I dyed my hair black.
Before that, it was always about the blonde, whatever, you know, that type of character.
The other Heathers.
Yeah. So it was like she really kind of brought that out.
She brought a whole style out for the 80s and the early 90s.
And then
How to Make an American Quilt is my top fave, so it's in the top 2.
Yeah.
So
no, she's good. They were all really good. I really like that movie. And of course, the Tim Burton, just the wackiness of it,
so creepy,
you know,
but
towards
funny.
The end, that scene where Michael Keaton's doing all that weird stuff, you know, with them all. It's just with
the arms coming out.
Yeah, and it's like the thing with Tim Burton is so good. It's like, you know how graphics and effects change and get better and better over time. Although sometimes they get, like I made this statement before, sometimes they get so good where it takes away from it. Like I always said, like the first Beverly Hills Cop in the 80s, watch the beginning of that movie where they're slamming that big truck through the cars on the side of the street. It looks so 80s, you know, from how everything looks because it was filmed in the 80s, but it looks it's real, and they're really doing it. It just looks so much better than all this blowing up graphics they got now. Of course, they can do much cooler stuff with it. I'm starting to sound old. Oh, you kids don't know movies.
You don't know the stuff.
But my point I wanted to make is with Tim Burton, his style is so weird and kind of creepy and different that you can watch this movie 30 years later and it still looks cool. It still doesn't look like all those look old and cheesy. It still looks like, that's cool how that looks, or that's creepy how he did that, or you know, it's the way the chimney's bent. You know what I mean? Just little touches that are just really his own touch.
And just the whole premise of the movie, I think, was really fun.
Yeah.
Like they died, they had to. The book of, what was it called? What was the book that they got?
The Book of Mormon? No, I'm just kidding.
The Afterlife, or Welcome to the Afterlife, or something like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to, like she said, never trust the dead, you know. You know, they're not supposed to know that there's life after death, you know, for sure. You know what I mean? So if we communicate with them, then they know for sure, and that's not good type thing.
Yeah.
The Book of Spirits? Or the Book of
something
Passages?
Like that.
I can't remember what it's called. People, big fans out there going, how do you not remember that? They're yelling at it. But
put it on the comment page if you
what the heck was it called? Put it in our comments page there.
But the funny thing is you can buy it on Amazon. You can buy the book. What's inside of it, you know?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just so distracted because while you're trying to look this up, she's got another pop-up that says 3 uses for watermelon rinds. It's like, what?
I know. It's like, I can't get rid of it. It just keeps coming up.
Popping up 3 uses for watermelon rinds. It's like, apparently it must have something to do with Beetlejuice. Why would that be in there?
And the mom's sculptures, like how they were like super creepy.
Oh yeah,
and they came to life.
What's funny is those like
fit perfectly.
They fit perfect with how people are, artsy fartsy people that like,
think it's beautiful,
so
and it's like,
shut up. You're just saying that because it doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
You think you're special because you can see that it looks like I can do that with clouds. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
It's like I don't need to paint
a painting where it looks exactly like somebody. That's talented, or an ocean or a beach that looks exactly like it or something. That's talented, but anyways. So do we have any other facts for it? Not really. I don't think so. Oh, there's been rumors, as there has been for a long time, there's supposed to be a Beetlejuice 2. Mm-hmm. Now they were talking about doing the 80s, and it's slowly goes back around. So
and then
to me, it's like now Tim Burton, he doesn't seem like he's super busy. He's super famous. He can do whatever he wants. Winona Ryder is probably busy with Stranger Things, but
down for it,
she's coming back and starting to be known. Like now would be the perfect time to do it if they were going to do it. That'd be so sick.
Who would they bring back? Like, I mean, would they bring back all the original cast?
Well, they obviously couldn't bring back the dad, but I think they could still bring back most everyone else. Yeah. and still have him look, you know, a little bit older.
Alec Baldwin.
Well, he might look a little different, but
I mean, they're ghosts. Yeah. They're not supposed to change anymore, so they couldn't come back.
Well, they can figure out something. They can figure out
CGI
something.
It.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know. Figure out a story twist or something, or it takes place, you know, years later, and something happens. They come back into the real world for 30 years and grow. Yeah. I don't know. So, you know, they could write anything, so they come with something.
That's true. They can always make it fun. But I mean, even when we were listening, the second movie was supposed to be based on like some island or something, and it was
like it's shot in Hawaii, really like Beetlejuice in Hawaii. It's almost like no, don't make it like the Ernest movies. Ernest goes to jail, and you know, it's like don't.
We like the darkness of a haunted house. We want something. If it were to be a part 2, it would be like another haunting of some kind, something dark and deep and whatever. But
it's like they didn't really, the original Beetlejuice wasn't cheesy. It's like it had a lot of like funny little kind of cheesy jokes maybe, but it still stayed within the creepiness and the whole storyline.
It was still kind of gross. Like there were certain scenes where you're like, ooh.
Yeah, like they did like Goes to Hawaii type thing where it's all like, you know, I don't know, like, you know, it's like it feel like a remake, a cheesy remake or something.
It would be.
So
like you're like,
they really got, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna really think of it cool. That may be the problem. They just want to do it because he hasn't had no writers presented him with a good screenplay or whatever you call it, or you know,
it's not good enough to hold up to the first movie.
A good treatment, as they call it, I think.
A good treatment.
I don't know. I remember Kramer called it that in Seinfeld one time. Like, do you want to read my treatment? I don't know, but you think we know more. We like movies. We're not movie buffs in the sense where we know all the backgrounds of how they're made and all that kind of crap. All right?
Yeah. We like to watch movies and review them on our own standards.
Listen, watch, explain.
And I think this movie had a really good soundtrack. Mm-hmm. I loved the soundtrack, even though it was like they pulled songs from the 50s, and put them in here, like "Jump in the Line," "Quote Your Body," time.
Me said that.
I love this. That's one of my favorite scenes when they're around the table, and then
that whole little
they possess them, where they start like, you know, it's so funny.
Yeah, I said, even then the graphics of how they looked, you know, you can tell it doesn't look like quite as clean and smooth as they do now, but it still looked really good.
It
was just good the way they did it all.
They were dancing and like they thought it was the funnest thing.
Yeah,
it was
Black
so cool.
Tarantula.
It was so good.
Oh, it's a classic.
Deo, that's what it was called. Deo.
So anyways, if you haven't seen Beetlejuice, then where have you been? And 2, you got to watch it. Now, let me tell you, if you're younger and you know how things are when you go back and watch things, people, what are they talking about? You got to give everything a fair shot. It's not going to look like how movies do nowadays, you know.
You got to keep an open mind.
Yeah, I still think it holds up. The jokes are still good, and just the premise of it is really cool. Really cool idea. You know, it's like that's another thing. Like those ones, like when he's talking down to her and she's in the thing, whatever. Like the green screen's so obvious that it's there, and green screen. You know, it's so obvious that it's there, and you can just like he's looking like this. You can tell like he's just looking at a big screen when he's talking to her. You know what I mean?
They're trying to line
so
up
like
the eyes.
There's stuff like that you're gonna obviously
other.
notice, but you just let that stuff go. Okay.
Picking apart a movie like this seems a little.
Well, it does. Well, like I was telling you that the Twilight Zone one, one of the most famous episodes, Eye of the Beholder. Mm-hmm. You know, where they're you never see the doctor's face.
Yeah.
And they're, this lady, you know.
And all of a sudden
look up Eye of the Beholder. You haven't watched it, but anyways, it's like it's so obvious. You know, 56 years later, what's going to happen. But then it was such a that kind of stuff wasn't out. People weren't watching that kind of stuff.
Creepy.
So in the comments, someone's like, "It's so obvious that da 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 da," and I don't want to ruin her case, but no one's seen it yet. But that was going to happen. I was like, well, yeah, it's obvious 50 years later when you've seen a billion movies that have redone that kind of stuff.
It's in black and white. It was when TV was like first kind of coming out.
So it's like then it was like, oh no way, you know, whoa, what if it was like that, you know? So
that was. I mean, things were just now coming on. There was TVs barely in anybody's homes at that time. So
the point is, don't pick it apart.
Don't pick it apart. It's an 80s movie, 1988, so it's not going to be CGI'd. It's not going to be like this crazy cool graphics, but
the graphics are cool the way they did it though, and
it's a cult classic,
almost claymation
for sure.
looking and everything. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's rate it. So we'll give it.
And it won an Oscar too.
Did it win an Oscar?
Mm-hmm. Makeup artist.
Wow. Okay. Nice. So out of one, we always do out of 5. Out of 5 Beetlejuices, or we'll call them Showtimes because Showtime. I love that one when she's like Beetlejuice.
It's Showtime.
Beetlejuice is all Showtime. It's Showtime.
Like, yes.
Like how when she's all Beetlejuice, he's all go again. Beetlejuice, he's all like brushes his arms off a little bit.
Ready?
Here we go.
Here we go. About to get big.
Showtime. So out of, I think I'd give it 4 out of 5. It's not. I mean, I can't give it a 5 out of 5. It's not perfect for me, but it's definitely 4 out of 5. Really good. It's one of those ones I can watch probably once a year during Halloween or whatever. You know, I'm never, if it's on flipping by, it's hard not to watch it. So,
yeah, you kind of stay on it.
If I had to guess, you're gonna give it a 5 out of 5 because it's your type of movie. You really like it,
no,
or 4.5 out of 5.
It's a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, it's almost a 5 for me, just because it has some of my favorite actors, and it is Tim Burton, which is one of my favorite directors. It has all of my likes, but it is an older movie, and there are imperfections that I noted, because I just watched it
recently,
about a week ago, and I was like, man, I look back and I'm like, I don't think I noticed this when I watched it back when I was younger, but now I'm kind of like,
yeah.
But it's great.
It's like going back and watching Wayne's World or Ferris Bueller, all that kind of stuff. You notice little things like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
Like
you
some
know
of your favorite movies, you're kind of like, why was this my favorite movie?
But when you're younger, it's just like me arguing with my dad about WWF at that time, wrestling, and just telling him, like, no, it's real. He really did it. And my dad's like, no. Look how he stomps on the ground every time he punches him. Look how this, look at that. And no matter what he'd point out to me, it just shows up. I'm like, no, it's real. Really. It's like, I drove him crazy. Then finally, I realized, I'm like, oh, what an idiot. Hey, what?
What was that?
How dare you? No.
That's why I wear my turtleneck.
See, that'd be cool if we had a lot of money. We had high production value to like really go in and bite and blood goes everywhere like that. Everything. If I knew how to do all that, I'd do it. But anyways,
we don't know how to do
we'll just pretend that's all you're getting from us. That little jump. Blood. Ew. On me.
Ew.
Gross.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining us again. Another episode. We got 2 out here. We'll get 2 more going. I don't know what I'm even saying. Just the end of the video. So thanks for joining us. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see you again next time. Beetlejuice, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Thanks for watching. See you later.